You will never get Kappa container, and it's because your dog shit at Escape from Tarkov. No, I'm just kidding. It has nothing to do with skill, and on the contrary, not getting the Kappa container is one of the smartest things you can do. So unless you want to roleplay as Riley Reid in a gape scene, I don't think there's any reason to get this bigger butt slot container. But before we go any further, guys, I have free groceries from HelloFresh. If you live in the United States of America, I can get you $100 of free groceries this week. Message me on Discord. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Cal, or I go by Tickle Online, and recently I've been seeing particularly new players idolize the Kappa container, or people that haven't unlocked the Kappa container before. Maybe you're not new, but this wipe you're really enjoying it and playing a tremendous amount. Today I want to go over a list of reasons on why you shouldn't go for Kappa container and also what you should do instead. Well, first and foremost, let's just go ahead and decide who really goes for Kappa container, because the player base likes to pretend it's just the average guy and people get it in different waves, and it's more about who plays the most gets it first. But the Kappa container really is there for the guy that's playing 8 to 12 hours a day. It really is not structured or set up whatsoever for anyone who contributes to society. Now, does that mean you cannot get it if you come home in the evening and you play Tarkov for maybe 4 hours? No, you absolutely can get it, but that is not who it's structured for. It's really structured for these people that are playing Tarkov every single waking hour of the day, and that probably isn't you. They're getting fed all of these quests and told to do all these quests just for this container, and it really hits a very small minority of the Escape from Tarkov player base. Generally just streamers and some one-off players who maybe are between jobs or aren't in school at the moment and are just playing a tremendous amount of Tarkov. Right now, I'll have on screen just the sheer amount of quests you need to do. You see this image right here? You need to do almost every single one of these quests on this image to even get this container. And some of these can be, you know, fun quests or whatever you deem as fun, or at least they're not bad. Maybe you need a key, you need to go to a quest item, and it's somewhat lore building. Maybe you enjoy that, maybe you don't, but it builds to the universe of the game. Others are just like ridiculous ones from Jaeger, like put pantyhose over your head and go into factory and shoot people with the blicky in the foot while yelling racial slurs, right? Like just crazy, odd, arbitrarily weird quests, you know what I mean? And there's really no reason to do them other than to get the Kappa container. Now, what is the issue with that? Well, a lot of people burn themselves out playing Escape from Tarkov, doing these arbitrarily difficult and weird tasks. They just fucking forced to play the game how they don't enjoy it, right? Maybe that's Shooter Born Heaven. Maybe you really don't want to go sit there and get headshots on every single map, or you don't want to play certain maps. There's nothing wrong with that, but this is forcing you to do things you don't like to do in Tarkov, and a lot of people would just burn themselves out and force themselves to quit. You don't have to get the Kappa container, although it would be really nice if you could get this Kappa container early on into the wipe, those 3 extra slots. It's actually a very small buff. There's a lot of diminishing returns when going from something like an alpha container to an epsilon to a gamma container, and then all the way to a Kappa container. You get those diminishing returns. And why is that? Well, your containers, you think about them, you don't run into raid with them completely empty and try and stuff loot into them. You bring in things that are going to help you survive: high tier ammunition, a survival, a CMS, keys that are going to bring you loot, an injector case. With 3 more slots, there are not very many cases, where you actually have an item to bring you in that's going to radically increase your chance of surviving or make you more money. They're generally just 3 empty slots for you to put loot in, which can be kind of nice. It can mitigate some losses on some deaths for sure, but it does not have that same impact as originally getting a gamma or originally getting an epsilon container ever has in the game. On top of it, whether you like the new unheard of edition of the game or not, there was a lot of standard players that were coming into the game who never had the opportunity to gamma this wipe. It went for Kappa so they could have at least like that 3x3 cell, right? Because they were stuck with the epsilon, which is the 2x4. That is out now. A lot of them have upgraded to the new version and they have gamma, so they don't need to go for the Kappa container either. So who is it then that's really going after these cap containers? It's generally streamers, guys. And why do streamers go for cap container? Well, they do get into the subset we talked about earlier. They're playing the game 8 to 12 hours a day. A lot of them are, being paid to play the game, or that is their goal. So they're just sitting there grinding non-stop. On top of it, you guys might not know this, but this happens quite a bit to a lot of streamers where massive whales, I mean, we're talking like Saudi Arabian oil princes, come in and they want to see people delete their cap containers. Go into some streams, you'll literally see dono goals in the bottom, delete Kappa gold container. I have seen people delete their cap containers for 10,000 USD, guys. Think about that, 10,000 USD every 6 months. These whales, they tend to find a streamer that they really, really like, right? And they want to go ahead and come back again in 6 months and inflict that same pain that they think they're inflicting on someone, right? And make them delete that cap container. And the streamer sits there on the theatrics like, no, how could you make me do this? Think about that. Imagine you were getting $10,000 every 6 months to do those dumb arbitrary quests. You would have a lot more incentive to do that. What would you do with an extra $20,000 every single year? I don't know. That's life-changing money. Would you buy a house as down payment on a house? Would you go ahead and clear your debt? I don't know. But they have actual financial vested interest in doing these cap containers. That's a big reason why you see a ton of streamers doing this cap container. Also with streaming, a lot of people just like to follow the pack, right? So there's another small subset of these guys who are really racing for the first cap container in the world. It should give them like a very small amount of notoriety amongst players that are going for Kappa, even though that's already a very, very small minority that will boost their stream a little bit. With a lot of other streamers, they just like to follow the herd. So they see these bigger streamers who are doing it for financial interest or to grow their stream, and they think, I need to get cap container, so my stream looks appealing. I look like I'm a skilled player. And they get this idea that the cap container in some way is a metric of skill. It is not. The cap container literally is just listening to instructions and doing quests. It's how well you can obey and how much time you can put into it. There really isn't any metric of skill. Someone might argue that the guide is a metric of skill where you have to survive every single map. But then you go and look at almost every single streamer that does this Kappa challenge, and what they do is they strap on an alt and they strap on tier 6 armor and they go hide in a bush for exactly 7 minutes and then extract so they don't get a run through without ever engaging anyone. When I did my guide live on stream, people thought I was crazy because I just went through every single map, playing it normally, going for kills, and if I died, I would restart, because that really is the norm. People cheese all of these quests. These people that go for these Kappa, speedrun world records, it's not very impressive and you don't hear much about it because a lot of them are cheating. They have their friends going on a super niche server. They select something like Venezuela at 2 in the morning and they all go to Venezuela and they complete their flashbang kills. They complete their Shooterborn in Heaven. So it's not really something to idolize. When you got the guys that are doing it at the top the fastest, they're cheating their way through it and they have financial interest to do it. Instead, I propose you guys save your time and enjoy Tarkov. This is one of the best wipes we've had since I started playing this game back in 2016. And if maybe I swayed your opinion and you're not going to waste your time going for Kappa container now, you probably do need some fun goals to set for yourself to have a great time with the rest of this wipe. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to smash the dislike button, and I will see you guys in the next one.